Good morning, Ranu, Soumya. Good morning. Good morning, Swagatika. Good morning and welcome to the class. Let others to join and we'll start the session. Rashmi Rajan, good morning. Welcome to the class. So we are going to do the organizational behavior. Okay? Let others to join. Let me just mark in the group. Fine. So let's start the session without any delay. Organizational behavior, important unit from all perspective, either PSU, either UGC, either any kind of the exam. So the first question, we will be doing it quickly. What was the Frederick Herzberg's main contribution to the organizational behavior? So what did he contribute? So there is a term which was given by Frederick, right? Frederick Herzberg. So what contribution his work has given to the organizational behavior? Theory of leadership, division of the labor advantages, job redesign for motivation, authority structure in the management. Yes, Rashmi. Yes, correct. So, you know what Herzberg has given the term job enrichment. And what is job enrichment? It is a kind of job designing or redesigning, right? For the motivation. So, the correct answer, see, sometime some indirect questions would be asked in your exam like this. So today's questions are very, very interesting for you all to understand the concept. If you understand the concept, you would be able to answer the questions. Few questions are direct, few questions are conceptual, few questions are where you have to use your mind. So the answer is option C. Next, which author introduced the concept of human organization based on supportive relationship? Frederick Herzberg, Chester Bernard, Renins Likert, Max Weber. Hmm. Who has introduced the concept of human organization? Author based are very common questions being asked from unit number 1 and unit number 4, right? Organizational behavior. Who is the author who gave the concept of human organization? Frederick Herzberg, Chester Bernard, Renins Likert, Max Weber. So the answer for this is Renins. Okay? The term human organization has been introduced on the base of supportive relationship. That is given by Renins. What are four key forces that affect organizational behavior today? So ultimately, this question is related to your factors. People, structure, resource, technology, structure, technology, goals, people, structure, technology, environment, individual, group, system, and environment. Why you're not able to answer? Difficult questions? They are not difficult. Actually, I have mixed up the concepts. I have formed them in a tricky way. Yes, this is direct, however. Yes, the answer is four factors are people, structure, technology, and environment. Sorry, it's talking about four. Yes, key forces. So it is what? It's not technology. It's sorry, it's not. It's people, structure. Give me a second. Just a second. Let me confirm this. Four factors, key forces, not factors actually. Key forces are what? So this are the four: people, structure, technology, and environment. People, structure, and technology and environment. Yes, marked wrong here. The answer is option number C. Answer is option number C. So let me, I don't know why I got this marked wrong. So anyways, let me correct it. So answer is option number C. Moving to next. Which of the following statement is true? Organizational behavior is a separate field of a study but not a discipline. Psychology contributes to OB by focusing on group behavior and conflict. Sociology contributes to OB by studying people in relation to their social environment. Anthropology focus on measuring and changing attitudes. Measuring and changing the attitudes. Yes. What would be the correct answer? So, organizational behavior is from different disciplines, right? So, description is given. What is psychology? What is anthropology? You have to let me know which statement related to this is correct. Correct. So, answer is option number 1 is not correct actually. Organizational behavior is a separate organizational behavior is a separate field of the study. It's not only the discipline. Correct. So the answer is option number 1, or statement 1 is correct. So it's not only one discipline but a separate field of study. Okay. Then comes your, so this option is correct. Okay. It's not a discipline but a separate field of study. It is multidisciplinary. So psychology contribute to OB by focusing on group behavior. It's about psychology, attitude, personality, the people think, the people learn, how they think, how they react, they fatigue, their boredom. So this statement is not correct. Sociology is about group and social environment. Anthropology is your culture. It's about culture, how people react in the culture, how people value the fundamental values of their culture. That is anthropology. Okay, so the answer is option B. Next, which of the following statements are true? Inputs are variable like personality, group structure, organization culture that influence process. Processes are action that result from inputs directly lead to outcome. Outcome refer to the factor that causes changes in the organizational process. Inputs are outcome of action performed in the organization. Yes. So what are the inputs? What do you mean by? So we have the basic model of OB. OB का basic model है जिसके अंदर में हम बात करते हैं इनपुट्स, प्रोसेसेस की और आउटकम की. ये इनपुट, प्रोसेसेस और आउटकम जो है ये आपका इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे भी होते हैं, ग्रुप लेवल पे भी होता है और आपका ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल लेवल पे भी होता है. तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे क्या है, ग्रुप लेवल पे क्या है, अकॉर्डिंगली अभी आपको आंसर करना होता है. ठीक है, बट फॉर हियर राइट नाउ यू हैव टू आंसर विच स्टेटमेंट आर ट्रू. यस. So the answer is 1 is true. Personality, group structure, this is an input. These are the input. Processes are action that result from input directly lead to outcome. Correct. Outcome refer to the factor that causes. No, outcome does not affect processes. Outcome may form the input and then input affect the processes. Inputs are outcome of action performed in organization. No, inputs are inputs given. Outputs are the outcomes of the action. So the answer is option number A. Now what you have to remember, this chart is highly important. Please do by heart it. Individual level, group level, organizational level. This is already a PYQ being asked in exam, that which of the following forms an input at individual level, which of the following forms an outcome at individual level. So you have to learn this each and every word given here. Moving to the next question. Which of the following is true about collegial model of organizational behavior? So we have 4 models of organizational behavior. Collegial model is what? It is an extension of supportive model. If the focus is on team spirit and shared goals, employees depend on boss for the direction and guidance. It requires an environment with behavioral flexibility and the job freedom. Yes, what would be the answer? Collegial model of organizational behavior, again important. There has been a PYQ already being asked in exam. So we have statement 1 is correct. It's an extension. Yes, it deals with the team. And yes, this is possible because it's a team concept. Employees and boss or superiors, employee and employer or a management can work in a team only when the people are, you can say, free to learn. Only the people are competent and there is a freedom of participation. So answer is option number D. Next question. Which of the following best differentiate the human resource approaches from the supportive model of OB? Read it and answer. How is human resource approach different from supportive model? See, there is not huge difference between them, slight difference, because sometimes the human resource approach is also called a support. So this is supportive approach is, sorry, HR approach is also called a supportive approach. Now this is asking you how it is little bit distinguished model, how it is different. Human resource approach stretches treating individuals as a matured adult for higher productivity. Supportive model focuses on managerial leadership and employee participation. Both emphasizes loose supervision but differ in degree of employee involvement. Supportive model emphasizes economic reward to satisfy the employee needs. So it is, understand, the distinguished. Okay, distinguishing characteristic is being asked. You have to distinguish 1 and 2. Most of you have answered A. Human resource approach stresses treating individuals as mature adults for higher productivity. For higher productivity. Is it for higher productivity? What is human resource? Treating humans as individual, considering they have their own thinking. So their focus at the human resource approach is not for higher productivity, but see, now here human resource approach is about welfare, about the support. Okay. Second thing is, yes, Rashmi is correct. So when we are talking about comparative question, I'm not saying this statement is wrong. Okay, this statement is somewhere correct, but it's not answering the question given. Neither it's answering it correctly. Treating them as a matured adult, more than mature adult, it treats humans as in humans. They have their own feelings, they have their own motivation level, they have their own personality. So yes, supportive model and focuses on managerial leadership and employee participation, correct. This is true. Both emphasizes loose supervision but differ in degree of employment involvement. Yes, they have loose supervision. Human resource is, when it is about distinguishing, sometimes they are used alternative, but the specific is differentiating. So when I have to differentiate, this is welfare. This is somewhere you are considering them as they have their own personality. Supporting is their development. So supportive will always involve participation. Okay? Is this clear? Did you understand the idea behind the question? So the answer is option number B. Now, yes, if there have been an option 1, 2 and 3, then I would have selected 1, 2 and 3. Correct? Next. In the social technical system approach, which of the following is true? Read it and answer. Technical subsystem focuses on transforming inputs into outputs efficiently. The social subsystem emphasizes employee relationship and trust building. The approach considers organization as a closed system, unaffected by the environment. It integrates only social subsystem to improve the productivity. Very direct. These two are straightforward wrong statements. So the two statements which are correct are option number A. Next. Which of the following concept is incorrectly matched with its description? These are bias. These are the terms associated with your organizational behavior and the bias. Okay? Read it and answer. Anyone knows? जिसने PDF पढ़ा होगा. अच्छा, Rashmi Rajan and others, those who have downloaded OB's PDF, do you have this content there? Is it the updated one? Anyone who have gone through the complete content of OB? If it is not there, I will replace it with the updated, because recently I have updated few content and I don't recall whether I have uploaded the old one or new one. You have to confirm me whether this content is there or not. If it is not there, I will be uploading. So the things keeps on getting, so that's why I keeps on asking you to apply for new cycle, because I keep on updating the content. Okay? Once you go through it, and if you don't have the updated content in the PDF, immediately I would be uploading the new one. Now, let me explain this basically to you. So this are bias. Now, bias related to what? We study the organization. Within the organization, while we are studying the behavior of the people, there are certain things where bias occur, right? We have different perspective. Now, we have social technical perspective, we have system approach, we have decision approach. Similarly, we have one framework called as the cognitive framework. What is cognitive? Cognitive approach focuses that, or it emphasizes that humans have their own free will, their own thinking, their own intention, their own IQ level, their own perception. And when they are using this mental actions, their own perception, their intelligence, their thinking to solve the problem is cognitive. So when organizations are using this, when they are using this cognitive framework, acquiring the knowledge from this mental actions of the employees, it is called as cognitive framework. So simple understanding is cognitive approach emphasizes on the mental action of process of thinking, okay, through their thought process, through their experiences, through their sense. और वो लोग कैसे सोचते हैं, एम्प्लॉइज कैसे सोचते हैं, क्या करते हैं, उनकी पर्सनालिटी क्या है, उनका थिंक करने का तरीका क्या है, इस चीज सभी को स्टडी करना होता है आपका कॉग्निटिव फ्रेमवर्क. ठीक है, मैं अगर कोई मैथमेटिक्स का सम सॉल्व कर रही हूं तो ओवर द टाइम थिंक करके मेरे को उसके पीछे का कंसेप्ट समझ में आता है. इसी तरीके से ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में एम्प्लॉइज ओवर द टाइम एक्सपीरियंसेस से, सेंसेस से सोच समझ के डिसीजन लेते हैं, रैंडमली डिसीजन नहीं लेते. हम इसी स्टडी को क्या कहते हैं, कॉग्निटिव फ्रेमवर्क. अब कॉग्निटिव फ्रेमवर्क ना 3 चीजों पे बिलीव करता है, दैट ह्यूमंस और जो एम्प्लॉइज हैं ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, द एम्प्लॉइज विच आर प्रेजेंट इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आर ह्यूमंस. What are they? They are humans. पहली चीज, when we talk about the cognitive behavior, they believe that जो humans हैं या फिर जो employees हैं वो क्या है, humans है. दूसरी चीज वो believe करते हैं कि उनकी, so they are humans, they have, first thing is they have expectancy. They believe, they expect they believe, they have the demand as a human being, and the third one is they have their own intention. These are the three main thing under the cognitive head, or these are the three main concept that being a human being, they have their own expectancy, their demand and their intention. अब क्या होता है, when the person is using this cognitive approach to make the decision, it's natural to have the bias, it's natural to have the error, right? It's natural to have the error. So when the error is occurring, the first given here is the Peter principle. Peter principle, see what happens within the organization, sometime employees are given rise, और उनको क्या करते हैं, प्रमोट किया जाता है टू हायर लेवल even if they are incompetent. Why they are made? Because in order to maintain some kind of necessary activity. See, if I am competent, I have been working for very long, बहुत टाइम से मैं काम कर रही हूं, लेकिन over the time मैं incompetent हो गई, because एज फैक्टर हो सकता है, बहुत सारी चीजें हो सकती है जिसकी वजह से नाउ आई एम नॉट गिविंग दैट लेवल ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस. बट इसके अलावा, इसके बावजूद एम्प्लॉय या एम्प्लॉयर या मैनेजमेंट को उनको इनकम्पिटेंट एम्प्लॉयज को रेज देनी पड़ती है. इसे हम कहते हैं पीटर प्रिंसिपल. क्या कहते हैं? पीटर प्रिंसिपल. ठीक है. सो द फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट. देन कम्स योर सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट, Dilbert principle. Now what is this principle? This statement is not correct here actually. The only statement wrong here is statement 2 is incorrect. Others are correct. ठीक है. Competent employees are promoted in a management to reduce the harm. Dilbert principle is developed by Scott Adams. SCOTT. Please remember the name. Scott Adam. What is this? Companies, again, companies will promote competent employees to the management. Okay, just a second. I explained you, I confused you, I got confused, so let me correct it. पीटर प्रिंसिपल क्या कहता है कि एक लेवल पे आने के बाद में, आफ्टर रीचिंग सर्टेन लेवल इन हायरार्की, आई विल बिकम इनकम्पिटेंट. यहां तक ही है. ठीक है, इनकम्पिटेंट हो जाती हूं. मैंने इसके बाद जो बताया था ना कि मैनेजमेंट प्रमोट कर देती है, वो वाला है डिल्बर्ट प्रिंसिपल. यानी वंस आई रीच सर्टेन लेवल, हायरार्की में जाने के बाद में एक लेवल पे पहुंचने के बाद मैं इनकम्पिटेंट हो जाऊंगी, दैट इज पीटर प्रिंसिपल. और दिल्बर्ट प्रिंसिपल कहता है कि इनकम्पिटेंट नहीं, इनकम्पिटेंट एम्प्लॉयज को जब मैनेजमेंट प्रमोट करता है, इंक्रीमेंट देता है, उसे हम कहते हैं दिल्बर्ट प्रिंसिपल. ठीक है. क्यों? बिकॉज देर आर मल्टीपल थिंग्स. दे आर वर्किंग इन अ टीम, दे हैव द पीपल वर्किंग. मेरे अंडर मेरी टीम हो सकती है, मुझे अगर प्रमोशन नहीं मिलेगा तो हो सकता है कि मेरे टीम मेंबर्स को अफेक्ट करूंगी मैं, मेरे को अच्छा नहीं मिला, मैं व्हाई शुड आई फोकस अपॉन. सो सम टाइम इनकम्पिटेंट होने के बाद भी मैनेजमेंट क्या करती है, इंक्रीज देती है. देन पार्किंसंस लॉ, वर्क एक्सपांड टू फिल द टाइम अलॉटेड फॉर द कंप्लीशन. मेरा काम था 8 घंटे का, मैंने 6 घंटे में कर दिया. अब टाइम 2 घंटे बचा हुआ है, सो एक्स्ट्रा वर्क. व्हेन अब आपने 6 घंटे में खत्म कर दिया, तो व्हाट वुड सुपरवाइजर डू? नो, नाउ द वर्क इज नॉट ओवर, वी हैव मोर वर्क विथ यू एसोसिएटेड विद दिस. तो एक्सपांडिंग द वर्क इन ऑर्डर टू कंप्लीट दैट अलॉटेड टाइम. Actor observer bias, tendency to attribute others' action to internal causes and our own actions to external causes. जब हमारी गलतियां, ठीक है, हमारी गलतियों का जो हम अगर कोई गलती करते हैं या मैं मेरा अच्छा रिजल्ट नहीं आया तो आई वुड से मेरी तबीयत खराब हो गई थी, टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम थी. सो व्हेन आई एम पुटिंग एट्रीब्यूटिंग इट ऑन एक्सटर्नल थिंग, दैट इज माय एक्टर ऑब्जर्वर बायस. और दूसरे अगर गलती करते हैं, वो ऐसा है ही, उसने पढ़ाई नहीं करी होगी, तो वो अगर दूसरे गलती कर रहा है वो उसकी गलती है, और अगर मैं कुछ गलती कर रही हूं तो मैं दूसरों के ऊपर डाल रही हूं. दैट इज एक्टर ऑब्जर्वर बायस. कॉग्निटिव रेफरेंस में ये आता है, कॉग्निटिव फ्रेमवर्क में. एवरीवन अंडरस्टूड? ठीक है. द टोटली न्यू कंसेप्ट फॉर यू ऑल. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. नाउ अगेन फ्यू मोर बायस. कॉग्निटिव बायस, ड्यूनिंग क्रूगर इफेक्ट, अटेंशनल बायस, पीटर प्रिंसिपल. सो पीटर प्रिंसिपल यू हैव जस्ट डिड, अभी किया आपने, उसके बेसिस पे इसको आंसर करिए. कॉग्निटिव बायस क्या होगा? सो इवन इफ यू आर एबल टू डू वन, एक भी अगर आप पीछे वाले क्वेश्चन के बेसिस पे कर सकते हैं तो फिर यू विल बी एबल टू आंसर. अभी बताया मैंने पीटर प्रिंसिपल क्या होता है. पीटर प्रिंसिपल इज व्हाट? एम्प्लॉय राइज टू अ लेवल ऑफ द इनकम्पिटेंसीज इन द हायरार्की. अगर उसको आपने 4 को बी से मैच कर लिया है एलिमिनेशन के थ्रू, अगर आप देखेंगे बाकी कोई है ही नहीं. सो कॉग्निटिव बायस का मतलब होता है एरर इन थिंकिंग प्रोसेस. ड्यूनिंग क्रूगर अफेक्टेड इंडिविजुअल विथ लिमिटेड नॉलेज टेंड टू ओवर एस्टिमेट देयर कॉम्पिटेंस इन द गिवन डोमेन. नॉलेज लिमिटेड है बट वो शो करते हैं, या फिर वो ऐसे रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं चीजों को जैसे दे हैव नॉलेज, दे आर कॉम्पिटेंट, दे आर एक्सपर्ट इनटू इट. उसे कहते हैं ड्यूनिंग क्रूगर इफेक्ट. Attentional bias is tendency to ignore critical detail while focusing on irrelevant information. So if you are given certain work, project दिया है आपको, आप क्या कर रहे हैं, उसकी बेसिक डिटेल्स पे फोकस ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, बाकी और चीजों पे जब ध्यान दे रहे हैं, यानी आप अटेंशनल बायस. That is your attentional biasness. Next. Match the following figurehead, monitor, entrepreneur, spokesperson role. Read it and answer. थैंक यू रानू फॉर कंफर्मिंग. पीडीएफ में है तो आप प्लीज पीडीएफ अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे. So answer is option number C. Figurehead is ceremonial duties. Monitor role is gather the information and analyzes it to make the informed decision. Entrepreneur role is making handle the critical situations. Spokesperson represent organizational external activities, provide the information to the public. ठीक है. ऑप्शन सी. एंटरप्रेन्योर का काम क्रिटिकल रोल्स को देखना होता है, नए नए क्रिटिकल सिचुएशन, यानी जो नए हैं, जो अनसर्टन है, इनोवेट करना, वो सारी चीजें होती हैं. चलो मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट. नाउ रोल रिलेटेड कंसेप्ट. रोल एक्सपेक्टेशन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, रोल इरोजन, रोल ओवरलोड, पर्सनल इनएडुकेसी. what are these 4 terms? Match them with their description. Am I audible? So when we talk about role expectation conflict, expectation. So what is being expected arises when individuals' expectation about their role differ from the expectations of the peers or managers or causing the stress. What I am expecting that my role will include this. I am doing something, and my expectation is conflicting the expectation what my peers, my colleagues, my managers are expecting. That is role expectation conflict. Okay, so it is asking you conflict. It's not only asking you the meaning of expectation, it's asking conflict. Role erosion is something when some role or duties which I was supposed to do is transferred to someone else. Role overload is what occur when I am being performing the roles which are not okay, which are not specific to me and inadequately overloaded to me. That is option number A. Personal inadequacy is when I don't possess those skills to perform the task. That's my personal inadequacy. Okay, the answer is option number D. Next. Which of the following statement is true regarding concept of role space and role set? Highly important question. What is role space? What is role set? Is very important. Role space, both the statements, role space and role set, option number 1 and 2 are correct. Space. So it's about spatial distance. Keeping myself in the center at the varying distance. So I am nearest to my son, I am mother to him, then I am wife to my husband, then more distance I am daughter-in-law to my family, then I may be a part of the society, then I may be a part of the country, then I may be a part of this world. So varying distances, what roles I am doing. So as a woman, as a single woman, I have these many roles being performed at what? At the different spaces. What is role set? It is a relationship between the role. So it says, let's say I am a teacher. So being a teacher, I am a teacher to the student, I am a mentor to the student, I am a friend to the student. That is being a teacher itself. I am doing multiple roles. So when I am doing a multiple roles, that is the role set. When I am doing different roles at the different spaces, that is role space. is this clear? जब मैं टीचर हूं तो मैं टीचर होकर सबसे क्लोज अपने स्टूडेंट्स के पास हूं, फिर थोड़ा सा दूर मेरे कलीग्स, फिर उससे दूर मेरा कॉलेज जिसकी मैं क्या हूं, एम्प्लॉय हूं। कॉलेज के बाद में मैं सोसाइटी का हिस्सा हूं, सोसाइटी के बाद में मैं एक कंट्री की टीचर हूं, कंट्री के बाद में एज एन होल वर्ल्ड में एक टीचर हूं। तो डिफरेंट स्पेसेस पे आने वाले रोल्स को हम रोल स्पेस कहते हैं। और एज अ टीचर मैं अपने स्टूडेंट के लिए मेंटोर भी हूं, मैं अपने स्टूडेंट के लिए फ्रेंड भी हूं, मैं अपने स्टूडेंट के लिए गाइड भी हूं, मैं अपने स्टूडेंट के लिए टीचर भी हूं, मैं कभी कभार एक उनके लिए गार्डियन भी हूं। तो बीइंग अ टीचर मेरे स्टूडेंट्स के लिए मेरा मल्टीपल रोल है, हम उसे रोल सेट कहते हैं। सो रोल सेट इज अ कंसेप्ट वेयर इंडिविजुअल होल्ड ओनली वन रोल। नो, role space is only concerned role professional life, no. So statement 3 and 4 are not correct. Next question. A group formed by individual from the same level in an organization to share information, solve problem and capture emerging opportunities is called which group? It's called as affinity group, correct option, right? So interest group is when I am a part of a group because of the same interest. Command group, superior subordinate relationship. Affinity is something where I am there to share the information, solve the problem and find out the opportunities. Reference is when I am voluntarily joining the group. Okay, okay, we will have the question for this. A group, okay, I've answered you anyways. A group formed voluntarily where individuals justify their attitude and values through social validation process. Now understand, each and every question के अंदर में जो मैंने questions frame किए हैं, उसके अंदर में जो terms use हुए हैं, जैसे voluntary हो गया, social validation हो गया, justification of attitudes हो गया, इन टर्म्स को प्लीज याद रखिएगा, बिकॉज यही कीवर्ड्स हैं, यही एग्जाम में आएंगे। ठीक है, फिर आप कंफ्यूज मत होइएगा। यहाँ पे तो ऐसे टर्म्स या ऐसे ऑप्शंस दे रखे हैं जो ज्यादा कंफ्यूजिंग नहीं है, लेकिन एग्जाम में फिर कंफ्यूज हो जाएंगे। तो जो भी मैं क्वेश्चंस क्रिएट कर रही हूँ, उन क्वेश्चंस के अंदर के क्वेश्चंस में भी जो कीवर्ड्स दिए हैं वो आप प्लीज ध्यान से पढ़िए। तो एक्सपेक्टेड एमसीक्यू का मतलब ही मेरा ये होता है कि अगर मैं कोई क्वेश्चंस भी दे रही हूँ, उन क्वेश्चंस में क्या लाइन यूज कर रही हूँ वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। ठीक है, उनमें क्या कीवर्ड यूज हुआ है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। बहुत एनालिटिकली मैं इन क्वेश्चंस को क्रिएट करती हूँ, उसके बाद में आपके सामने लेके आती हूँ, ताकि उस एक क्वेश्चन से आपको, जैसे इसका आंसर है हमारा रेफरेंस ग्रुप। तो रेफरेंस ग्रुप होता क्या है, जब मुझे कोई रेफर करेगा, जैसे यूजुअली फैमिली में होता है कि लड़की की शादी करनी है तो आपके फादर जो है अपने किसी रिश्तेदार से या किसी से बात करते हैं, रेफर ही लेते हैं। तो जब रिश्तेदार बोलता है नहीं आप उस ग्रुप को ज्वाइन कर लो, बिना सेकंड थॉट के वो पर्सन उस ग्रुप को ज्वाइन कर लेता है, क्योंकि रिश्तेदार ने बताया, रेफर किया। किसी ऐसे पर्सन से हम रेफर करते हैं जिसे हम भरोसा करते हैं, और ये हम वॉलंटरीली करते हैं, कोई बंदूक नहीं मारता है, लगाता है सर पे आके चलो चलो ज्वाइन करो। सो दैट इज द रेफरेंस ग्रुप। ठीक है, मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट। Match the following types of the clinks. Clinks are informal groups with their description: vertical clink, horizontal clink, random or mixed clink, subclinks. These are the informal groups. Sure. Again I'm saying पीडीएफ पढ़ेंगे, कंटेंट समझेंगे, आंसर्स कर पाएंगे। नहीं पढ़ेंगे, नहीं समझेंगे तो कंफ्यूज होते रहेंगे। ठीक है, और आई डू अंडरस्टैंड, एक बार के रिवीजन से नहीं होगा या एक बार पढ़ने से नहीं होगा, मल्टीपल टाइम आपको करना पड़ेगा। ठीक है, एक बार में नहीं होगा। सो द आंसर फॉर दिस इज ऑप्शन नंबर ए, वर्टिकल। वर्टिकल यानी जहां पे सबॉर्डिनेट, सुपीरियर, सबॉर्डिनेट, ये रिलेशनशिप आएगा। तो एक ऐसा इनफॉर्मल ग्रुप जो हेरार्किकल रैंक डिफरेंट होने के बाद भी वो ग्रुप बनता है। जैसे आपके बॉस ने एक ग्रुप क्रिएट कर लिया है, आपके बॉस भी हैं, उनके बॉस भी हैं, उनके कलीग्स भी हैं, आप हो, आपके जूनियर भी हैं, उसे हम कहेंगे वर्टिकल क्लिंग। हॉरिजॉन्टल क्लिंग का मतलब होता है सेम रैंक में या सेम वर्क एरिया में एचआर के अलग अलग, ठीक है, एचआर पर सेम रैंक होना चाहिए। तो एचआर के अंदर में नाउ रैंक हियर इज लाइक रिक्रूटमेंट के एचआर, देन योर रिक्रूटमेंट के टीम के ही आपके एग्जीक्यूटिव्स, तो सेम एरिया में काम करते हुए सेम रैंक पे, वो एक लेवल सेम हो जाता है हॉरिजॉन्टल। रैंडम क्लिंग का मतलब होता है डिफरेंट रैंक, डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट, डिफरेंट लोकेशन विद कॉमन गोल। कैसे? जैसे आप एक टेलीग्राम ग्रुप में अभी सभी लोग ज्वाइंट हो और उस टेलीग्राम ग्रुप के अंदर में पीपल आर फ्रॉम डिफरेंट बैकग्राउंड्स, people are from different location, people are from different status here means some are already working, some are fresher, but सबका गोल क्या है? यूजीसी नेट को क्वालिफाई करना। दैट इज रैंडम और मिक्स्ड क्लिंग। सब क्लिंग्स क्या होता है? सो इट्स लाइक when I was working with Times of India, we used to have monthly lunch organize करती थी HR डिपार्टमेंट, हमारी जो HOD थी वो। तो उस लंच में या लंच जो मंथली लंच होता था, माय आवर HOD यूज्ड टू से दैट यू आर इनवाइटेड प्लस योर बॉयफ्रेंड, गर्लफ्रेंड्स, हस्बैंड्स, वाइफ्स, फ्रेंड्स, ऑल आर इनवाइटेड। सो इट वाज नॉट स्पेसिफिक, यू कैन से रेस्ट्रिक्टेड ओनली टू द एम्प्लॉइज, बट उस ग्रुप के अंदर में, उस लंच के अंदर में, इफ यू आर हैविंग अ बॉयफ्रेंड और अ गर्लफ्रेंड और अ हस्बैंड और अ वाइफ or anyone else you want to call, you can call them. तो इसे हम सब क्लिंग्स कहते हैं, जहां पे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लोग ही आउटसाइडर्स को लेके आते हैं। दैट इज ऑप्शन नंबर डी, means the matching option. The option correct option is option number A. Which of the following statement is true regarding work group and work team? चलो, very 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 very, I'm saying again, very 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 important question. ग्रुप और टीम के बीच में डिफरेंशिएट करने के लिए आपको ऐसा कुछ क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, असर्शन रीजन क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, मैच द फॉलोइंग क्वेश्चन आ सकता है। वर्क ग्रुप क्या होते हैं, वर्क टीम क्या होती है? Work groups primarily aim to share the information and help member perform within the area of responsibility. Work team generate positive synergy through coordinated efforts, resulting in performance greater than the sum of individual efforts. Work groups have collective performance where individual efforts are summed up without synergy. Work teams rely on individual efforts and do not require mutual accountability. So it's about team. It's about group. So when you work as a team means what? You all will be collectively responsible as a team. Group means what? You are the part of the group, but right, you are the part of the group, but others are not responsible. Others are not responsible for what you are achieving. So you all are part of the UGC net group. The group which is providing you the information related to, you can say, एनी वन ऑफ यू। 100 लोग हैं, 100 लोगों में से अगर 2 लोग 3 लोगों ने नेट क्वालिफाई किया, आप उस ग्रुप में रहकर क्विजेस सॉल्व कर रहे थे, एक दूसरे से इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर भी कर रहे थे, लेकिन विदाउट एनी सिनर्जी आप अपने इंडिविजुअल्स के लिए खुद रिस्पॉन्सिबल, ठीक है, खुद रिस्पॉन्सिबल थे अपने किस लिए? रिजल्ट्स के लिए। बट 2-4 लोगों के परफॉर्मेंस की वजह से कहा जाएगा कि इस ग्रुप का या 100 लोगों में इस ग्रुप ने अच्छा परफॉर्म किया. ठीक है. So that is your statement. 1 is correct, 2 is correct, and 3 is also correct. Very okay. Let me see how many of you have answered it correctly. Work group have a collective performance where individuals are summed up. Individual efforts are summed. Individual, yes, they are summed and have a collective performances. They have, yes, they do collectively, but without synergy. They are not synergizing, they are not collectively doing it. समझ में आया? Did you understand it? क्या करती है? It is, there is, ठीक है, मैं इसको ना एक आपको शो करती हूं. अगर आप बुक्स रीड करते ना, सी ये स्टेटमेंट, यस करेक्ट. डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड नाउ? इसका जो आंसर है ना, ऑप्शन नंबर 1A है, स्टेटमेंट A. 1, 2 and 3. ठीक है, 1, 2 and 3. अब इन स्टेटमेंट्स को मैंने डायरेक्टली बुक से उठाया है, टेक्स्ट बुक से उठाया है, आपकी रॉबिन्सन की बुक से उठाया है. तो कुछ स्टेटमेंट हैं जैसे कि ये आपको टेक्स्ट से उठा के पूछे जाएंगे, तो आप तो कंफ्यूज हो गए. जैसे आप सभी ने क्या कहा, 3 और 4 फॉल्स है, लेकिन वर्क ग्रुप्स आर कलेक्टिव. तो यूजीसी नेट के 50 लोगों ने यूजीसी नेट जेआरएफ क्वालिफाई किया, तो बोला जाएगा ना कि लक्ष्मी मैम के ग्रुप ने अच्छा परफॉर्म किया, कलेक्टिव आया. ठीक है, सो दैट इज योर वर्क ग्रुप. दे परफॉर्म कलेक्टिवली बट देयर इंडिविजुअल एफर्ट्स आर देयर, whereas in the team coordinated efforts are there, right? तो मैं आपको ना, I would just show you from where I have taken this so that you would get to know how important is to go through the content properly in the notes which I have given you. Work group have no need or opportunity to engage in work. Collective work require joint effort. So their performance is merely a summation of each group member's individual contribution. There is no positive synergy that would create overall level of performance greater than the sum of the inputs. Work team generate positive synergy through coordinated effort. The individual effort result in level of high performance greater than sum of the individual inputs. Now understand. Is this clear? Chris, what I am trying to say is that group are, if you are a part of a group, you will be sharing the information there. You would be using the information of it. You would be improving your performances, and as a whole, group will get a credit, but with individual efforts. No one is going and giving the exam, but as a team, collectively, you do chapter 1, you do chapter 3, we collectively will complete the 10 units and we all are responsible for each other's efforts. Okay? Chalo, moving to the next. Too much we are discussing only on one question, but yeah, discussion is also important to clear your doubts. Always stop me if you feel that I am going too much into detail. Match the following: role expectation, role stereotypes, role identity, role perception. Read it and answer. See, always you can stop me if I am going much detail. Sometime it's okay. हाँ, what is expectation? ठीक है, वहां पे हमने क्या पढ़ा था? इसके पहले वाले क्वेश्चन में हमने पढ़ा था रोल एक्सपेक्टेशन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. ठीक है, यहां पे है हमारा केवल एक्सपेक्टेशन. सो एक्सपेक्टेड बिहेवियर बहुत इजी है. रोल स्टीरियोटाइप इज जनरलाइज्ड बिलीफ. रोल आइडेंटिटी इज योर पर्सनल आइडेंटिटी. सेल्फ व्यू ऑफ बिहेवियर इज योर रोल परसेप्शन. ठीक है, दीज आर द कीवर्ड्स, प्लीज डू रिमेंबर. Moving to the next, let's do the questions quickly. There are many questions. Okay. Just a query from my side for you all. Do this question. Which of the following is true regarding the die functions of the group and team? What I am saying that, for example, I have created few questions right now, and I am not able to cover all the questions in one session. And if I provide you the PDF, will you be able to do the questions by yourself? And if you want the explanation, I will. So the reason for this is I want to cover maximum topics in the MCQs. So for now, like this group concept is going on, there may be 5 to 6 or 10 questions remaining that we have complete, but since we have the limitation of the time, I will be taking few questions, and the rest 10 questions you would be solving by yourself. In next class, I will be coming up with the new topics. So instead of going through the same topic again, you are practicing few questions in class, few questions by yourself. In next class, new topics. Plus, if you have any query related to the previous session, you can ask me. Is that fine with everyone? Fine. Okay. Now, which of the following statement is true? IHRM. We did IHRM. You want the PDF? Rashmi, I would be uploading today. IHRM PDF. So the question is asking you which of the following is true. Groupthink, social loafing, role ambiguity, and group cohesion. These are the terms associated with the groups. So think is a phenomena where norm of consensus override. Yes, correct. This statement is correct. Social loafing occur when member increase their effort. No, social loafing decreases their efforts and performances. Ambiguity happens when individuals are clear. No, when they are uncertain, unclear. Group cohesion is the result of weak interpersonal bond. No, it is a result of the strong interpersonal bond. I will upload, Rashmi, today the PDF. Next. So the last question, I believe you would be able to do the rest question, or rather, let me see how many are pending. What is the fundamental distinction between the brainstorming and nominal group technique in the decision making? Again, important. Read it and answer. Okay, only 3 questions are there, so we would be doing it. What is the fundamental distinction between brainstorming, nominal group technique, and decision making? Brainstorming encourages open discussion and idea generation, while nominal group technique restricts the discussion to ensure independent idea generation. NGT involves no voting process, whereas brainstorming relies on individual voting to finalize decision. Brainstorming emphasizes evaluation of idea, while NGT focus solely on idea generation. NGT allows for real-time discussion, while brainstorming is typically carried out synchronously. Correct? The answer is option number 1A. Why 4? NGT is not real-time discussion. C. Answer is option number 1. Nominal brainstorming is open discussion and idea generation without criticism. Okay? It's without criticism, no vote, nothing. It's simple, mere generating as many ideas you can. Brainstorming is real-time discussion. Whereas NGT is not a discussion. It is like you are independently creating. You will come, some experts will come face to face. They will be coming up with their ideas. They would be presenting their ideas individually. Once all if and buts of all ideas are generated, voting would be done. The idea which get the maximum vote would be selected. Moving to the next question. Which of the following best defines entitivity as described by Donald Campbell? Entity, you know, entity, right? So what is entitivity, which is related to a group, right? The belief that group have a basic nature and remains constant over the time, the extent to which individuals are perceived as a part of a cohesive group rather than independent individuals, the process of explaining the social phenomena based on individual processes rather than a group as a whole, ability of a group to interact with each other face to face to achieve the specific goals. So this is a term which you need to know. It may be asked in exam. व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द ग्रुप, जब हम ग्रुप की बात करते हैं ना, ग्रुप क्रिएट्स अ सोशल आइडेंटिटी. जो ग्रुप होती है ना, मैं किसी ग्रुप को, आई एम वर्किंग विद टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया ग्रुप, आई एम वर्किंग विद एन अकेडमी, or I'm working with this brand, I'm working with that brand. It gives me an identity. So when I am introducing you all to as that I was being working with Times of India group, I was working with an academy, what does it create? It creates our identity. It creates in your, it develops something in your mind that a brand, if she or him or is working with certain brand, there must be some quality being possessed, right? So it is a extent to which individuals are perceived as a part of cohesive group rather than individual. So entity का मतलब अपने आप में एक अपनी identity रखने वाला कोई group. So it is more of, you are a part of, you have the identity, I have that competency, or I have that, what you can say, royalty, not royalty, I would say, yeah, royalty, you can say, I have that royalty or credibility into my profile or my CV because I have been attached to certain brand names. ठीक है, मैं उन ब्रांड के साथ मैंने काम किया. रादर अगर मैं अन अकेडमी के साथ नहीं होती, वुड यू हैव कम हियर टू स्टडी? नो, आई गॉट दैट ब्रांड, आई गॉट दैट क्रेडिबिलिटी, right? So brand value which is being created because I was a part of that group instead of my own independent individual. ठीक है, next, propinquity theory, Homan theory, balance theory, exchange theory. Read it and answer. Answer is A. Propinquity, space, physical proximity. Homen is your attraction due to shared activities and sentiments. Balance is your common attitude and goal. Exchange based on rewards and the cost. Elimination ke through you can do it. The last question. A newly formed project team is working on a new product launch. The team members have just met, are excited but unsure about their roles and responsibilities. As the project progresses, disagreements about the leadership arise. Over the time, team members start accepting their roles and collaboration improve. By the end, prepares to move. Now, already in this case, everything is given. You just have to sequence how the group develops. So this question or this type of question may be asked in the exam. एक केस बेस्ड आपको क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, या और भी आ सकते हैं दूसरे टर्म्स या टॉपिक से रिलेटेड, जहां पे एक सिचुएशन दी गई होगी और उस सिचुएशन को अंडरस्टैंड करके आपको स्टेप्स के कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स के बेसिस पे, डायरेक्ट स्टेप्स नहीं दिए होंगे, स्टेप्स के कैरेक्टरिस्टिक के बेसिस पे उन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स को सीक्वेंस में लगाना पड़ेगा. आगे बात समझ में? तो ऐसा क्वेश्चन आपको आ सकता है. तो पहली चीज क्या होगी? See, whenever the group is formed, the first thing is what? Excitement and uncertainty. दूसरी, so excitement and uncertainty, that is your first. क्या बोलेंगे इसे ग्रुप के अंदर में? जब हम ग्रुप की बात करते हैं, the first is forming, that is associated with your excitement and uncertainty. Then storming, which is associated with your tension and conflict, fighting, leadership fight. Then norming, normalizing, that is cohesion and rule acceptance. You're accepting each other. Performing, then is your task oriented, focus is on complete task achievement, performance. And the final is your reflection and separation, adjourning. Correct? Understand? मैं फिर से कह रही हूं कि ऐसे कंसेप्चुअल बेस्ड क्वेश्चन आपको पूछे जा सकते हैं जहां पे एक केस दिया होगा छोटा सा, उसमें उसके कैरेक्टरिस्टिक देंगे सीक्वेंस में लगाने के लिए. डायरेक्टली स्टेप जैसे फॉर्मिंग, स्टॉर्मिंग, नॉर्मिंग तो अब तो बहुत इजी हो गया है, डायरेक्ट हो गया है. ऐसा भी आ सकता है, आई एम नॉट सेइंग नहीं होगा, मैच द फॉलोइंग में पूछा जा सकता है, लेकिन मेरे हिसाब से जो जिस तरीके से क्वेश्चन डेवलप हो रहे हैं, जिस तरीके से चीजें बदल रही हैं, ऐसा क्वेश्चन आ सकता है। अब ये सीक्वेंस में लगाने वाला क्वेश्चन ओबी में ही नहीं, एचआर में भी आपको पूछा जा सकता है, जहां पे कैरेक्टरिस्टिक पूछे हो, ठीक है। तो मेक श्योर दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड द कंसेप्ट. So these were the questions for the day. I hope you enjoyed. We will be continuing the next topics of OB in our next class, right? Give your feedback if you have liked it. I'm trying to bring as many questions for you. In expected MCQs. Why? PYQ course. No. एक्सपेक्टेड एमसीक्यू के अंदर में कौन सा अवेलेबल नहीं है? क्वेश्चन एनालिसिस ऑफ 18th June and 2nd September. I will do it if the PYQs are there. ठीक है. So thank you everyone. We would be meeting in our next class.